What up, fight fans? This is your host, Lisa Marie, and welcome to another segment of Global Fight Talk. We have none other than the promoter himself, Mick Maynard. He has an event coming up on Friday. It's a Legacy FC 56 in Dallas, Texas at the Bomb Factory, which is June 24th, I believe. I'm not too sure if I got the dates and stuff, but I believe it's June 24th. And we're going to talk about this event that he has coming up, and we're going to play some games to see how quick Mick is on his feet. So, Mick, how's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for coming on. You know, I don't get to interview. I guess you're my first promoter I've ever interviewed, so this is awesome
cool.
for me.
Thank you. It's an honor. I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's talk about this event that you got coming up at the Bomb Factory. Usually you have it in Allen, and so why the Bomb Factory? Why did you change, places? Is it just something let's do something different?
Yeah, we did want to do something a little bit different. It's actually in Dallas. I know obviously Allen is just a suburb of Dallas, but it's actually in Dallas. We went and visited the venue, and we're just blown away at how cool it was. I love the location of it. I love the vibe inside the venue itself, and it's just something we thought we'd give it a shot. It obviously holds a lot less people than Allen, and so we just kind of wanted to see what would happen if we had a smaller venue, kind of had a more exclusive ticket, so to speak, and and have it in a hot area like Deep Ellum. So there you go. That's kind of what the decision behind that was.
Right. Well, listen, let's talk about how did you get started. You fought before in the past, right? And you were a kickboxer. I know, like a couple years ago, maybe a year, it wasn't too far that you went back to fight and you had a kickboxing fight. Is this just something that you've always wanted to do as a fighter? Just, hey, let me promote fights, let me promote upcoming fighters. How did that all come about?
I had been training in kickboxing before. Like, I was involved in martial arts. I boxed when I was a kid, and when I came over here is when I got involved in Muay Thai and kickboxing. And it was soon after that we opened a newspaper in College Station, Texas, called Maroon Weekly. And I was just trying to figure out ways to try to promote the newspaper down there. People do concerts, newspapers do concerts and things of that nature, but that wasn't really my thing. And because I'd been training in martial arts, I had reached out to someone about doing a promotion, and I was going to give them the venue and give them free advertising, and basically they'd have everything for free. They just needed to come down there and do the show. And but anyway, I never heard back from them, and so I just decided to do it myself, and that's kind of how it was born. It was kind of started off as a side deal to help promote the newspaper, and now the newspaper's sold and gone, and we just do this.
Right. Well, not only you promote MMA, but you also promote kickboxing. Yourself, who's also, you started out boxing and kickboxing. Now you're promoting kickboxing. How different is that? Is it still the same as far as getting everything together? Is it less of a hassle? Is it, you're not too deep into the kickboxing promoting yet, but you've done a few in the past. Is that something you're going to continue to do in the future and always promote it?
I'm really not sure. It was really more of a passion of mine because that is my background, and that's honestly what got me into MMA is because I was way more into K1 and into kickboxing before I was got really deep into mixed martial arts and boxing.
Right.
So those both kind of led me to MMA. So when I had the opportunity, when I saw the Glory was doing so well for kickboxing, I thought, this is something I may give a shot. And so we did, and it is a lot more difficult to promote, especially here in the United States. At this point in time, you have so many fighters. In Europe, kickboxing is so huge. So you have a much deeper pool of kickboxers to pull from over there. And because of that, a lot of the times that's where you have to bring the fighters in from. And so when they're coming in from Europe or wherever it is, they're coming from overseas, it's very expensive. And nobody knows who they are or cares. And so, from that standpoint, it makes it much more difficult to promote it. And, it was a different deal. It wasn't, I'm not saying we're never going to do it again. We've kind of stopped for now just because MMA is just doing so well. Our legacy is just growing so much and keeping it so busy. But we've kind of put it on pause for now. And really we put it on pause because of legacy's just doing so well, taking our focus off of that didn't seem like a good idea for a little while. And, I did enjoy doing the kickboxing, and it was cool being around all of that and giving that a whirl. It was a lot tougher for us, for sure.
Well, you said because the kickboxers are known from coming from overseas. Is it difficult to find true kickboxers here in the U.S., especially in this area? Because a lot of MMA fighters, they have a background which just all over, and
Right. Mm-hmm.
you have some MMA fighters who are, completely stand-up fighters, but they're not actually kickboxers per se. So when they want to transition from MMA to kickboxing, although that's not their true background, do they look like kickboxers to you, or can you just tell, or is that difficult to find? Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I think that was part of the thing. I would have a lot of the MMA guys want to do kickboxing, which is cool, but it wasn't. We were very, very intent on, and then we did have some of that. If they were kind of primarily stand-up guys, we did do some of that, but it was a situation where we really wanted to be authentic. And there was a certain type of, we really wanted it to be Dutch-style kickboxing. And,
right.
And because of that, we were very particular about who we put in there. And no, it is a different sport. I think some of the times mixed martial art guys may have looked at kickboxing as well. I do mixed martial arts. This is going to be a breeze. This will be like sparring, I think is what I heard a couple of times. And
right.
That's simply untrue. It's an
right.
incredibly brutal sport. It's a tough sport. And in my view, it's beautiful to watch, which is why I was really getting into it and very passionate about it when it's done properly. And so, yeah, that did make it a little bit more difficult because let's face it, there's really no money in kickboxing here. There's a few
right.
of them that might do well, like you have your Joe Schillings and you have a few of your American styles that I'm sure are able to make a living doing it, but the vast majority do not. And if they want to, they're going to have to go overseas and do it. And if they go overseas and do it, they're going to be facing a whole new animal.
Yeah, it's totally, yeah.
So good.
They eat and breathe that. Yeah,
exactly. It's all they do.
It's something about people, fighters from overseas, that Russia. You got those people that eat and breathe this every day, and you can see the difference in the work ethic from people coming from overseas. And I'm not saying anything about the people in the U.S. I'm not saying that, but right. you could tell the difference what art they come from. Like if somebody who's a stand-up MMA fighter wants to do kickboxing, well, you could tell they're Muay Thai, you could tell they were karate, but there's a certain style that you can tell if they're a straight kickboxer, like you said, Dutch style.
Right.
And
absolutely.
So that's what I was asking. Like, did you really find a lot of authentic kickboxers from this area, and did that affect your decision of whether to continue?
Really impressed me as a mixed martial artist that went into kickboxing. It was, oh my gosh, I'm losing his name from the Black Zillions. He's Sean Soriano. When Sean Soriano fought for us, he was brutal. And when he fought in kickboxing, he looked really, really good. But you know what?
But they have a coach. Yeah, but don't they have a coach? Yeah.
He trains with Henry Hoops. So,
right.
his background is, that's all he does. And if you watch it, that tells you really kind of everything you need to know. The fact of the matter is Sean Soriano is a mixed martial artist. But when you watch him do kickboxing, he was freaking brutal, and his style was very in-your-face, aggressive. He had great angles, great power. And, that was from Hoops, So, that's where he learned all of that stuff, and I think that's what's going to be necessary. There's very few authentic, when I see very few, maybe just like 2 or 3 authentic, maybe a couple more, maybe a handful of Dutch-style kickboxing coaches here in the States. It's really not easy. There's a lot of Muay Thai guys, but the kickboxing guys aren't quite as plentiful, I guess you could say, for whatever reason.
Right. Okay. Well, one of the things that let's talk about this upcoming event. You got a bantamweight title fight on the line. You got Vasquez taking on Peterson. Peterson is a very tough guy. He's someone that always fights on legacy cards. How did that fight come about? I know you're the promoter, but I know you got to have your hand inside the matchmaking as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and as far as for many, many years, it was only me. Even Colin will tell you, when Colin Cantrell, who is a matchmaker now, started doing it for us, he was really just a decoy. He just pretended to be the matchmaker, and I was the one who was actually doing it.
Right.
It's just so I could get a breather. But now he really does an incredible job. But at the same time, we do bounce it off each other. We do talk about the fight cards, and Peterson's done an amazing job. He's on a streak.
Right.
He's persistent. He's tough, and he's earned this shot. Manny obviously got his shot on short notice against Ricardo Ramos, who was undefeated and on a tear. Manny came in and submitted him within a few minutes. And so it just seemed like a no-brainer. Manny needed to keep busy. Steven earned the shot, and it just kind of all came together. And here we are. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Well, I know that you're definitely the pull of your fighters going on to the UFC.
Right.
You had a great deal of fighters coming out of there. But sometimes you wind up getting some of the UFC fighters back onto your card. So that has to be a great feeling either way, how it goes. Because now you have, don't you have one that's fighting a UFC vet, Edwin?
Yep, we do. Levi Moles is fighting Edwin Figueroa. And that's going to be an exciting fight. Of course, speaking of kickboxing, Edwin comes from that background, from more of a stand-up background. And so I expect that one to be, this whole fight card, it's fiery. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's talk about, this, I'm going to put you in a matchmaker position, okay? So, I mean, you've played that before, and you still play it, as I understand. So let's talk about some fantasy matchups, okay? I'm going to put together some fights. And I'm going to play matchmaker, and I'm going to put together some of the fights and let me know what you think. And then we're going to do ring announcer versus ring announcer, promoter versus promoter, and coach versus coach. Okay? And you can't hold back. This isn't live, so you can say whatever you want.
Okay, no worries.
All right. So as a fighter matchup, a fantasy matchup, what do you think about Charles Byrd versus Larry Crow?
Oh, wow. I mean, that's somebody's going to sleep.
Yeah.
I can guarantee. I mean, Charles, Larry's we actually train in the same gym.
Oh, okay.
So Larry's extremely athletic, very fast, deceivingly long as well. I mean, you think that with as muscular as he is, and I guess this is an assumption I made when we fought, is that he's not going to be able to reach me. I'll be able to stay out of range. And he's got extremely long reach, so it hits you when you don't think it's going to happen. And he's strong, like I mentioned. I still have my neck has been jacked up for several years, and that's because I had Larry Crow in an armbar, and he basically curled me and dropped me on my head. So he's an extremely strong dude. That said, Charles is probably one of the best prospects in Texas. I mean, he's obviously incredibly well-rounded. He has great wrestling, and obviously his stand-up is amazing. So, that would be a fun matchup, no doubt about it. I like it.
Okay. So I'm doing good so far, right? Okay.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay. What about Samson? Because I know he's going to be on your card, too, taking over. He's going to be taking on Ryan Hollis. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about Samson versus Damasio Page?
That would be awesome. I mean, I think that's
stylistically that would be good, right?
Stylistically, it is. I mean, I think stylistically that's a tough matchup for Damasio. I mean, Damasio really does have good wrestling, though. People do forget that he does have a wrestling background, so that's what makes him so dangerous, is this sprawl and brawl style. But I think that I don't have it in front of me, but I would venture to say most, if not all, of Damasio's losses have come from submissions. And so, obviously, Samson has incredible submission game as well. So that makes for an incredibly stylistically, that's tough for Damasio. But, of course, he's one of those few guys in that division, in the flyweight division, that has just one-punch knockout explosion. I mean, if he puts his hand on your chin,
Right.
It's a strong possibility. It's more than likely going to be over, you know.
Right.
So that's fun. I like it. So far, so good.
Okay, I'm doing good, huh? Okay, I got a couple more, and then we're going to move on. What do you think about Atenius Young taking on Melvin Jordan?
You know, that's actually a great fight. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with any of this. Our tennis says nickname is Chico, so if I slip into calling him Chico, that's what I'm referring to.
Right.
And he's another one person that I trained with for a long time. We trained together at 4 hours.
Right.
You know, Chico can hang with anybody. You know, he obviously fought Cyborg, and they went to a decision. That was a good fight.
Right.
You know,
right.
And a part of me, because he's my friend, and hopefully he doesn't hear this, but I have to say that I hope he doesn't fight again, to be quite frank. I hope he concentrates on other things, because he's just a wonderful, wonderful person, and I just don't like, you know, him. I just don't like fighters. You know, I don't know. I just think it's time. That said, Melvin's great too. You know, and from a stylistic standpoint, you know, our tennis is as much, and you probably have more insight into this. I know Melvin can be very aggressive, which is good. Chico, on the other hand, definitely likes the counter. If we had 2 counter fighters in there, Chico and one more, then it could make for a long night. And not in a good way. But if one of them is aggressive like Melvin is, then that would make for a fun night. You know, and especially because not that either one of them are old, you know what I mean, but they're not young, you know, not spring chickens either. So I think that from a physical standpoint and from an entertainment standpoint could be a lot of fun, for sure.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I have one more.
Sure.
You always got to have a heavyweight fight in there.
Right.
Always. They're sometimes they can be entertaining.
Yep.
And sometimes it can be very long, boring night. It just depends what type of heavyweights you put in there. But the one I see is the one who just recently won a title belt. Rashad Coulter versus Ike Villanueva. I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly.
Well, Ike's dropped to 185.
Oh, so he's back to 185.
He's back to 185. That said, that would be fun because they're both going to stand up and throw down. You know, and I tell you, here's another one. I don't know if you got to see these guys fight, but it ended up unfortunately being a no contest. But it was Bryce Ratanico and Justin Ledet. And both of these guys are heavyweight boxers. That's really their background. They've done both, of course, because they're in there now. But really, they've got pro boxing experience, too. So to watch them fight is a lot of fun. Bryce, when he fights, he's from New Zealand. When he fights, he looks like he's taking a stroll through the park and just knocking out folks. He's just so calm and very, very pinpoint accurate and has a lot of power. And Ledet is a much taller heavyweight and has great length. So unfortunately, that one went to a no contest. I'd like to see Rashad against either one of those guys. That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I know he just won a title and he's going for. Because he just won a light heavyweight. Now he's fighting for the heavyweight. So
that's cool. Rashad's great. Yeah, I'd love to see him in there.
All right, let's move on. Let's do ring announcers now. Okay. I did pretty good so far, right? Maybe I could be a matchmaker. Who knows?
Matchups. I do too.
Yeah. So now let's do ring announcers.
Okay.
How about Joe Rogan versus Jimmy from Bellator?
Oh, I had to give that to Joe.
You do?
All day long. Oh yeah, I had to.
I mean, I could have put. Oh my God, I just had a brain fart right now. Your ring announcer,
Colin
from Legacy. Colin. Right. No, Colin. Not the commentator.
Yeah, Colin. Chevalo.
Yeah.
Well, Pat Miletich.
Pat, that's who I was talking about. Pat.
Okay.
I can't believe I remember. Yeah, I was thinking about him. I said, no, I'm just going to completely get him out there. I'm not even going to mention his name.
Well, if it's Pat,
but what about Colin?
I'm going to give it to Pat. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Colin versus Bruce Buffer.
Colin all day long. Easy money.
I mean,
he'd embarrass him. Yeah, I mean, Colin fought pro.
Yeah, I know Colin fought, and actually he was getting ready to fight on one of your cards, but then, something had happened. He had a family situation, and
that was bull. He just put that out there as an April Fool's joke, I think. He wasn't.
So he wasn't going to fight.
He didn't. Nah, he was just joking around. But he
does.
Okay. You know, he's got good submission. He's been trained. He fought Eve Edwards. People don't even know that. But he fought
really?
Eve Edwards way back in the day. Now, Colin will tell you it wasn't a joke, but Eve, when he found out that Colin had never fought before, Eve was kind to him, and even though he beat him, he didn't hurt him. He went in there and was really cool. That's a true story. Like, he was like, oh man, you know, it was just really kind and let him make it. So Colin doesn't even really count it as that. But it does tell you how long he has been fighting and has been training. So he has a really good submission
definitely.
game. Plus, now he has what he calls the belly guard, and his freaking belly's so big, he puts that on your face, and you want to just tap the nastiness.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to give that to Colin.
Well, let's do promoter, because I do know a promoter who had some maybe stand-up. He has some stand-up. He has, striking background. I don't know exactly what it is, but I recently found out he fought in the past, like way back in the days. So as far as a promoter, Mick Maynard versus Thomas Bussey from XKO.
Oh, man. Well, Thomas is a great guy, but that would be that'd be fun. I've never seen him do a single thing. I don't know. I've never seen him train. I've never, he might be a freaking killer, though I know,
Right.
But,
I've never seen him train either. I've never have, but I have seen some throwback pictures of him in the ring, and that's how I found out that he fought in the past.
Okay.
I don't know how far. Yeah, so I don't know what his background is, or maybe, but, sometimes it's good to put promoter versus promoter.
Yeah,
that would be a good fight.
If I turn it there, he lights my ass up like Sugar Ray Leonard or something. I don't know, make me look stupid. But
you never know. that would be a good. That would be. You know what? I think what would be good, like some exhibition fights, like if you were to do a charity event, right?
Yeah, that'd
so if
be
you
fun.
were to do like a charity event, you could do like ring announcers, because I know some local DFW ring announcers over here or whatever. Promoter versus promoter. And the thing about it, this one right here might probably be the best one to see, to do a charity event. Just in case, that's just giving you an idea, just in case you ever want to do a charity event. This would be cool. Coach versus coach.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. I bet you they would. A lot of them wouldn't do it. I guarantee.
You don't think so? You think because of the pride or just ego or just,
I think if they get whooped, one of them gets whooped, it's going to be real bad for well, they might think it's going to be bad for their business. I don't really think it would, but I think that a lot of times they might perceive that it could be, and so that could prevent it from happening. But I don't think they're right. I don't think it matters. I think that the martial arts community as a whole, respects that, win or lose,
Right.
Look at Cesar Gracie. When Cesar Gracie fought Frank Shamrock, he got absolutely destroyed, Let
me ask you about that fight, because you said he absolutely got destroyed, because I saw that fight that was on, on Bellator, Gracie versus Shamrock. I wasn't very too fond of watching that fight again.
I'm going like way
back. A throwback. Okay, yes. Okay, that was different.
Nick Diaz's coach. Nick Diaz's coach fought Frank Shamrock.
Okay,
back in the day, and Frank Shamrock just destroyed him. And it really wasn't fair, because Frank had obviously an incredibly long MMA career, and I don't think Cesar ever fought before. So it wasn't real fair. But you could say he stood a lot to. He especially they're both in California, so you could have said he stood to lose a lot. But I don't think he did. I don't think it mattered.
Right. Okay. And the reason I didn't put any coaches' names out there, because I could have put a lot of coaches, coach versus coach or whatever, and but it would be fun. But like you said, they just might not do it. And then you got some coaches who really don't give a damn and say, yeah, I'll fight. I know a few of them like that. So yeah, I'll fight. I don't care. But it would be an awesome charity event to see in the future if anything like was to happen, just for fun. But you know how it goes in MMA, whether it was boxing or MMA, there's egos out there in the fight game. So I don't know, that might not be a good, fun charity event at the end. I don't know.
Well,
there's no winner.
Yeah, you're right. Well, Nick Gonzalez put it out. Me and Nick are friends. But Nick Gonzalez, I guess, there's the Jason Ellis show that's going on in Austin or whatever. So Nick put out there to me to propose me and him box against each other. And I'm like, Nick, you're a pro boxer. And he said, oh, it'll be fine. I'm like, man, I've done a lot of boxing, and I know enough about boxing to know if the guy that you're in there with is way better than you, nothing sucks a ball in life.
Right.
you just get your ass whipped. You know, there's no other tools but both your hands. And if the other guy is that much more dominant than you, then the only way out is get knocked out or, you know, just suck it up and get beat down for the duration.
Right.
So that wasn't too attractive to me.
Right. Well, you know what? I just wanted to make it fun, you know. You know, just put it out there. You know, sometimes cool. Interviews are, you know, they get a little bit too serious, and you know, same old questions, and you know, whatever. So I figured, hey, why not ask these questions, make it a little bit more interesting and fun to listen to. But you know,
Absolutely.
you got Legacy 56, which is awesome. You here at the Bomb Factory, June 24th, which is on a Friday. Let's talk about tickets. Where can they go and purchase tickets? And how much
Absolutely.
are they running for?
Yeah, they would have to go to thebombfactory.com. That's the only place that they're available right now, or from the fighters themselves. They are not. I'm not sure how the fighters are doing. Of course, I won't. You know, I heard that they're going through it pretty well. And as far as what's available online on the Bomb Factory, I think they're down to the last couple of hundred. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I think that the cheapest ticket left at this point is about $50.
Okay.
So go get it.
Go get it. Okay.
Yeah.
What fight are you exciting to see? I mean, I guess you want to say that all the fights on there are exciting as a promoter, but what fight are you mostly excited to see and see the turnout on it?
You know what? I think it really is the main event. I mean, it's really there's a lot of good ones on there. Levi Figueroa is an interesting one to me. Levi is very aggressive, and so I think even though his submission game is so good and so strong, I do believe that he's more. I mean, when he fought Tony Kelly, and that was in Shreveport, that fight was absolutely unbelievable, and he just threw down with Tony, even though obviously he has great submission. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him fight. Of course, the main event's going to be interesting. I think that their styles are very, very similar. And so it's going to be interesting to see who can, you know, obviously impose their will, I guess you could say. That's a cliche. But it's true. It's going to be interesting to see what can happen. The whole fight card really is fun. Even Bilal Williams has been on the tear. He's fighting Sean Holden. And JC Control, Cody Wall. I mean, it's a really, really good fight card. But I'd still have to go with the main event.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be an exciting fight to see. Because Steven, since I've seen him change camps, his whole his fight game itself has completely changed. He's always been raw and rugged, but him being with the Octagon MMA, he just elevated his fight game completely. So, yeah, that's going to be an exciting fight to see. You know, obviously I'm going to be there, so, you know, I always got to come out and support Legacy. I don't have any teammates fighting on there, but, you know, I always come out because I know a lot of people on that card. But as we wrap this up, Mr. Maynard, Mick, any shout-outs you want to give?
No, you know what? I don't know. Just looking forward to getting back to Dallas, and we love it there. We always have a great time. I'm particularly excited about being in Deep Ellum. My biggest concern is drinking too much, and so I just need to it's too readily available. And so, anyway, I'm just looking forward to seeing all my Dallas friends.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much and for taking the time out. Again, everybody, that you guys have nothing to do on a Friday on June 24th, you've got to go check out a Legacy fight. They're always putting, you know, some great matchups. You know, you won't be disappointed. Again, my name is Lisa Marie. This is Global Fight Talk. Again, we got Mick, the promoter, the man himself, the owner of Legacy Fighting Championship. Thank you so much, Mick.
Thanks, Lisa. Talk to you soon.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.